Hi everyone. So this is the next video, and as I promised in the previous video, I'll be going through a very exciting example that uses some very simple ideas in computer programming. But before I get started, I want to address something that I forgot to mention in the previous video. A lot of people in computer science today feel that, hey, I got to get started as early as I can. If I don't start it by age 10, I'm screwed, you know? And I can tell you right now that that's just very mistaken because for example, I started at only before my freshman year of college, and I'm doing just fine. And I have a lot of friends that I know that are also pretty inexperienced, but they're doing just fine studying computer science, and they're doing it because they're really interested in it. So if you're really interested in it, it's never too late to start, and you will always find success if you're interested in it. That's something I strongly believe. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this example. So this example is adapted from the Composing Programs textbook, which is part of the CS61A material. And I will say before I start that it is a little, I'll throw a lot of things at you that you haven't seen, obviously, but I think it's cool to do a really amazing example on the first day because that's going to get you inspired and, I don't know, interested in learning this material. So let's get started. Don't feel bad if you don't understand exactly what's going on. You will understand it by the end of this course. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import a particular library from Python. It's called URL open. Okay. And then the next thing I'm going to do is there's a guy named Shakespeare. Okay. Most of you have probably heard of him. And I'm going to download or open, technically, all of his 37 of his plays. Not all of them, but 37 of them. Okay? So, what are these plays? They're from this URL text file, and obviously there's a lot of words because there are 37 of Shakespeare's plays. So, yeah, that's cool. So, now that I have Shakespeare's plays, I want to get them into a text format. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read in the file, I'm going to decode the file, and then I'm going to split the file. Again, I don't expect you to understand this right now, but we will talk about this later. So, once I have that, let's start asking ourselves some interesting questions. Okay, let's start easy. What are the first 25 words of Shakespeare, just to make sure that this worked? Oh, a midsummer night's dream, now fair Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on, and so on and so on. So, a midsummer night's dream, now fair Hippolyta. Oh, look, we got the first 25 words. Cool. Okay, so, sorry about that. Let's go back here. And now that we have that, let's now ask some more interesting questions. What if someone asked you, hey, what's the number of words I have in Shakespeare? Oh, seems like a pretty hard question, right? Wrong. It's pretty easy with Python. So I'm just going to ask you for the length of the text. And bam, 980,000 words. That's a lot. Wow. Pretty impressive, Shakespeare. But how impressive is it really? Let's count some common words. So, let's say I want to know how many does there are in Shakespeare. The is a pretty common word. Oh wow, there's 23,000 does. There's another common Shakespearean word. Ooh, I know. Thou. Let's see what thou is. Okay. How many thous are there? Oh, 4,000. Interesting. Thou is the substitute for you. Did they even say you back then? Let's see. You. 12,000. Wow, they said you more than thou. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. What's next? Oh, something very common in any type of writing. Punctuation. So how many commas does Shakespeare have? 81,000. That's a lot of commas. Let's see how many periods he has. 36,000. Wow. So, a lot of Shakespeare's text is actually the, commas, and periods. Let's see how much really. So, I'm going to count the does. Count the does. That's funny. No, it's not really funny. Sorry. Bad jokes. Okay. Then I'm going to count the number of commas. Count the number of periods. Let me be careful with my parentheses. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to name these common words. Okay? So, how many common words are there? There are 141,000 of them. Okay, that's a lot. Then, let's say someone asked me the question, hey, what percent of Shakespeare's words are these common words? Okay, easy enough. I can just divide by the length of the text, and then of course multiply by 100, because I want a percentage. 14% of Shakespeare's works is just the, commas, and periods? Maybe Shakespeare wasn't that impressive. Nah, I'm just kidding. Shakespeare was actually pretty impressive. It's obviously the words between the does, commas, and periods that definitely make his work beautiful and poetic. So, what's next? What if I wanted to ask a really crazy question? I want to ask, how many words in Shakespeare are there that such that the word and the reverse of the word are in Shakespeare's plays? It's a very interesting question. Where do I even start? Well, I don't want to deal with repeats of words, let's say. So I want to find all the unique words first. How do I find the unique words? Okay, well, Python has something that's pretty nice. It has something called a set that takes in a list of items and it returns the unique items of that list. So now we have all the unique words. How many unique words do we have? We have significantly fewer, 33,000. Okay, so now, how do I figure out the reverse of a word? Okay, well, I know how to do that. There's a really handy dandy syntax for that. It gets me the reverse of the word. So, from here, now I want to find every single word in my set of words, such that, let's say I want to limit to 4-letter words, such that the reverse of the words is, the reverse of the word is also in my set. Okay, let's see how many of these words are in here. Wow, there are quite a lot. Interesting. Okay, then let's see if there's anything else. Is there words of length 5 that fit this constraint? Interesting. Is there any words of length 6? Let's find out. Repaid and diaper. Huh. The backwards of diaper is repaid. Never knew that. But, interesting. Is there anything more than 6? Let's find out. Things are so easy with computers. Wow. We have nothing more than 6. Okay. That's very interesting. So, now I want you to imagine yourself in a situation where you didn't have a computer and someone was asking you to figure out, hey, what are the answers to all these crazy questions? Okay, let's think about how long that would take. Okay, it's easy enough to figure out the first 25 words of Shakespeare. It's 37 plays. Easy enough. Oh man, but the number of words in Shakespeare, that would take forever. Counting the does, thous, yous, commas, and periods also would take a while. What else? Oh man, I can't even imagine how to figure out the unique words of Shakespeare. I wouldn't know where to start with that, and I don't even want to think about these crazy questions. But what's amazing is that a computer, so it would probably take us quite a while to figure out the answer to this crazy question, but a computer will literally take no time at all, and that's the amazing. That's why people study computer science, because computers can answer these questions that humans would just we can answer, but it would just take a long time, and honestly it would be a waste of our time. If we didn't have computers, we'd probably still be doing some very trivial tasks these days. But computers can work with numbers, large data, that makes it very versatile. So here's an example where we're working with a large data set, all of Shakespeare's work, 37 of his plays at least, and we've found some information about it very, very fast. So that's pretty cool. And I also want to point out that there are several parts of this opening example that introduce some very fundamental ideas of computer science. And the biggest one is abstraction. And methods of abstraction are using functions. So you've seen your first function there. I'm just going to talk about these concepts briefly later in videos, but I just want to introduce them to you. So this is a function. We have an object right here, and we can get information from the object by using methods. Then we also have cool things like expressions. So here's an expression, here's another expression, here's assignment statements. These are all things you're going to learn about, and by the end of this course, you will actually understand all the steps in this example, and that's very exciting. So, so again, this was all from the Composing Programs textbook. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'll try to get them to them as fast as I can. And thanks for watching. I hope you found this very cool and instructive, and I hope at the end of the day that you guys are inspired to continue to learn, or at least a little more interested, because this is very, very cool stuff. Thanks.